Okay, kids, we're going to try this one more time, but if I start buffering again, I'm just going to end it for this evening. I'm not going to try to do any more. So, third time's a charm. This either works or it doesn't. Anyhow, hey Coyote, how you doing? All right, I'm not going to go back to helloing everybody again because I don't want to have to go through all that. But we'll see if this holds. If not, if this starts buffering again, I'm ending the live stream. Just letting everybody know that right now. I'm not going to tolerate this nonsense from AT&T and continue the frustration of sitting here trying to get a good signal out. So, anyhow, the long and short of it is today, I'm in a great mood. Got a lot of work done real estate-wise today. I did make some solid decisions on where I'm going and what I'm going to be doing. I'm not sharing that with anybody right now, especially in light of the recent troll activity. To those people who think that they saw my video and they saw the other idiot's video and they know what the hell is going on, all I can tell you is you're an idiot. You know, you can't watch something like that and think you really know anything. But if you do, then, oh, I watched his video and it's not assault. Well, you know, apparently you're an idiot. Sorry. If you watch that video and think you know what's going on and what happened, you know, the whole thing, if you think the whole thing was filmed, then I'm sorry, you're you know, yeah, okay. Anyhow, I'm really happy. I had a great day. Hold on a minute, I gotta respond here to Johanna. Oh. Anyhow, okay, yeah, we're back. Magnolia, I'm not going in any of those kind of details, so hopefully Johanna will show back up. Johanna was just confirming what everybody was saying before, that she's being impersonated, and she will tell you right now, hey Frank, how you doing? Hey Jared. Anyhow, really deleted for asking what he wore. That's a weird question, Captain Caveman. Anyhow, so I'm not going to get into details as to what constitutes what, or, you know, you guys are not the referees of this. You have no knowledge. You have no basis. I'm not going to get into that kind of nonsense and play that game. So, hey Barb, how you doing? Johanna's back. There you go. Voldemort was pushing the boundaries, but you should have just walked away without engaging. Well, Mike, you weren't there. You have no idea what all transpired. You have no idea the conversations that led up to that. For people to make judgments based on watching one video, again, is an ignorant kind of thing to do. I'm sorry, Mike, but I'm just calling it like I see it. I've never been one to suffer fools well, and I think for someone to watch a video like that and make a comment, it's just foolish. So. So anyhow, hey Sharon, how you doing? I got, yep, I'm live again now. Hopefully I'm not going to buffer. If this thing starts buffering, I'm out of here, guys. So, I don't need an opportunity to set the record straight. That has nothing to do with you guys. You guys have nothing to do with that. Like Stuck and B said, the courts will decide what is right and what is wrong. And that's what I was talking about just after, just as this thing started buffering earlier. If you're not doing something illegal, if you're on the side of right, when the police call you, don't run away. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Usually the person who calls the police is not the criminal involved in a situation. And, you know, and if you need any more understanding than that, then I'm sorry to say, that's just the way it is. The sheriff deputy would not have given me a case and set up the information had she not looked at the evidence and clearly decided that there was an aggravated assault going on. I'm sorry, aggravated stalking going on. I never claimed there was an assault. I said there was aggravated stalking going on. So we're going to see where this goes. I'm hoping it goes away, to be honest with you. I just soon be done with it and move on with my life. I got better things to do. Like today, I spent a good deal of my day today working on my stuff down in Marathon, getting my work started down there. I'm all set to buy some postage and some paper and envelopes to get some mailers out and get things going. Yep, Seabiscuit certainly is bullying, absolutely, and YouTube will probably not do a damn thing about it, but we'll see. But in any event, I'm just a happy camper, man. I was on a great date today. I'm really happy about that. I met a very nice lady today. We had a great time. We're going to have a great story to tell going forward in the future. So, yeah, well, there's more ways of being assaulted, Magnolia, than being physically hit, isn't there? So, you should take a few days off. Captain Caveman, I'm fine. I have too much work to do to worry about taking any days off. And I'm certainly not going to change my schedule to take days off because of a troll like that. So, oh, Sharon Ann, sorry about that. That's all I'm going to tell you. Sorry about it. Okay, so let me address that real quick, okay? The other day I mentioned I may stay here in Jacksonville, and I was doing some research here in Jacksonville. You can get online and verify this for yourself if you're interested, or you can believe all the troll bullshit. I don't care. But if you look at something like Zillow.com as an example, and you look at property values in and around the Jacksonville area, and you search for properties over $1 million and how many of them sold in the last year, which you can do all that through Zillow.com, it brought up a whole lot of properties. And so looking at that, I was thinking, well, there's some potential here for doing good business. However, when you go in more detail and you look into it more in detail, I found that a lot of the properties that were listed that were so-called $1 million properties were no way in hell were they $1 million properties. They were $200,000, $150,000 homes at best that for some reason were listed on Zillow at very high prices. In fact, there was a lot of them that had the exact same price. So there was some sort of technical error going on with the reporting of those. You don't have 50 houses in one community all have the exact same price. It just doesn't happen. 2, 3, maybe. Not 20 or 30 of them all the same price in a given community. And certainly not, rundown shacks that are being put on there. They're saying they sold for $1.6 million. It just didn't happen. So there's something going on with Zillow in the Jacksonville area that is not accurate. And since I'm not a member of the real estate board here, I really didn't have any other resource to look at for making a determination. Now, I am a member of the real estate board down in Marathon. So in Marathon, I have a very solid understanding of exactly what the property values there are, how many properties have sold, what properties, I mean, I know right down to, the name of the owner of the property that sold and how much it sold for just about every property that sold Marathon in the last 10 years. I mean, we track those records as realtors. That way we can go back and look at those sales as what we call comparables for pricing out another property that we would be bringing on the market. So I know how good of a market that is. I was thinking originally that Jacksonville looked like it was going to be an attractive location, but what I found out is the information I was looking at was erroneous. And this is the problem with, doing a little bit of light research while traveling, as opposed to parking my butt here for 2 days and getting online and really crunching some numbers and looking at some stuff in much closer detail. Because when you actually go and look at stuff in much closer detail, you say there's something wrong when there's 30 properties, all of them have the exact same price, and none of them are selling for $1 million plus. I mean, there's just no way in hell anybody in their right mind would pay $1 million for some of the properties that are showed here in the Jacksonville area. So anyhow, no, Mike, that's the real Frank. Frank and I've decided that Frank can better help out stuff by not moderating for right now. And I appreciate all the time, effort, energy that Frank's put in. Frank's a great guy. It has no reflection on Frank or anything else. It's just that Frank and I've decided that for his health and conditions, it's better for him not to worry about the trolls. I have enough moderators. Frank doesn't need to get involved. So, yes, Frank, I agree. And so I'm heading south. And I just missed a whole bunch of stuff in the chat. You know what? I'm not going to go back and try to respond to any of that. I'm just going to tell you where I'm at and what's going on, and you guys can go from there. So yeah, I am probably going to go down to the Florida Keys already, because I know that area, it's going to be a good area for me to work in. It is highly unfortunate that my ex-wife is there. I really wish she wasn't. I have no interest in seeing her. Whether or not she wants me there or not, I really don't give a rat's butt about. I have no concern whatsoever about what she likes or doesn't like. And if that constitutes emotional abuse, then I guess I'm abusive to my wife, because I really don't give a rat's ass about Penny and what her thoughts are. At this point, my only concern is I'm going to do what I need to do is best for me to make some money. And right now, I know that market is a great location for me to be working. So, and I'm already a member of the MLS, and my dues are already paid, so I can start working today, which I've already done. So, that's why you gave up a packet on how to proceed. You were the one that has to sign the affidavit and file a misdemeanor charge. Yep, Troll, and I'll be at the courthouse tomorrow dealing with all that. So, was high end more like Biloxi? Yeah, Bubba, and you know, again, I was looking at what turned out to be erroneous information. So you are correct. You are very correct that Jacksonville is not high end. So. Yeah, Cliff, I can't control that. I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear to everybody I'm going to be going down to Marathon. Trolls want to show up at Marathon, I'll just deal with them. So, you get some idiot like this guy today, because I said, well, if he assaults me, it's going to be a bad day for him. He took that as a physical threat, like I was going to beat him up or something. No, I'm just going to call the cops and have you arrested. That's what adults do, people. Adults don't. We don't go to fist and punch each other. I'm not a fighter anymore, guys. Yeah, I studied martial arts when I was a young guy. Johanna will tell you, I think she did in the previous live stream before it crapped out, but I don't hit people. I don't beat up on people. I've never hit a woman ever in my life. And I've certainly not been abusive. I was married to Johanna for 17 years. And she can come on here right now. She's got a wrench, so everybody knows it's really the real Johanna, not someone, faking her. But Johanna can come on here and she'll tell you the same thing. I never hit anybody ever in my life. I don't assault people verbally or physically. The thing of it is, guys, because of my size, if I were to get into a fight with anybody, because of my physical size, if I ended up going to court, I would lose. Whether I win the fight or lose the fight, I would still lose in court, because the judge would take one look at me and say, you're too big to be beaten up on that little guy, because there's very few people that are my size or bigger. So, and frankly, if they're my size or bigger, I don't really want to fight them, For that matter, I don't want to fight anybody, guys. I just not my nature. So, sure, I will defend myself and the dog. Yep. If somebody lays a hand on me, I certainly will defend myself. But Mike Smith, I call bullshit on that statement, Carl. Well, Mike, here's my answer to that. Goodbye. I don't really care what you say, Mike. John was my big teddy bear. There you go, Johanna. Yeah, Johanna always referred to me as her teddy bear. And for those of you guys that don't know, my middle name is Jonathan. So Johanna always refers to me as John, not as Carl. Okay, so if you were thrown off by her saying John, that's because that's the way she always calls me, and she still does. So there's assault by threat at best. Okay, troll sniper is none of your business really, so I don't really care what your opinion is of it. I beat you to a car. All right, Cliff, here you go. So anyhow, kids, I had a great day today. I'm really happy with the outcome of today. So that's all that matters, Carl is a son and father and grandson and grandfather. Yeah, actually, I'm Carl the Third. My son is Carl the Fourth. My grandson is Carl the Fifth. We have 5 Carls in the family. My grandfather was Carl Hayes. My father was Carl Kenneth. I'm Carl Jonathan. My son's Carl James. My grandson is CJ. So a lot of Carls. So we oftentimes will use middle names. My father, when he was alive, was Carl. I went by John. When my father passed away, I like using the name Carl. I don't like using the name John. I don't like being named after a toilet. That's a little family fun that I have with myself. But you know, it's okay to laugh at yourself sometimes. Does anybody have an idea what happens when you have 5 guys named John in the same room? You have a public toilet. Never mind. It's a John joke if you guys don't get it. So, no, I didn't get lucky. Come on. Well, there'll be a second date with the lady from this afternoon. Actually, Actually, yes, there's going to be a second date tomorrow because she's driving me over to the courthouse. As it just so happens, yes. We're going out on another date tomorrow, a very romantic date where she's driving me over to the courthouse, and so it's going to be what it's going to be. But yes, there's going to be a second date. There'll probably be a third and a fourth, and she and I hit it off really well. We're very much like-minded, have the same sense of humor. She's a very nice person. Yeah, romantic date at the county courthouse. So, of course, Johanna's going to probably give me crap about this, but third will be the trial. Yeah, I'll probably have to come back up for any of that nonsense. I don't know. Maybe they'll have enough, you know. So we'll see. So. But she and I were both laughing afterwards today. We were like, well, that's certainly going to be a very great comment to be able to mention about later on about how our first date ended up with the police being called. So, perfect, you can elope at the courthouse. I don't know if she'll be joining me at Marathon at all, or right now, or later. You know, who knows, guys. I mean, we've been on one date. Give me a break, so. Might will get married while you're there. No. I'd like to get to know her a little bit better than one date before I get married to somebody. So, I think Johanna, we dated for what, like a year and a half before we got married? So, I thought it was great. So, yeah, in fact, Johanna and I dated for, I think, a year and a half, maybe more. And then I actually went to Ohio and left Johanna in New York, and I was in Ohio for probably 6 months or so. That's when Doug was living with me while I was in Ohio, and then I went back to New York to get married to Johanna. So, in fact, a friend of mine, Steve, shared with me a photo from our wedding just the other day. Yes, but you asked me after 1 month. Well, that's true. That is true. So. People trying to help. I am one that spent time in prison. Pretty sure I know how the court system works. Yep, troll sniper, but you know that's all fine and dandy, you know. But I don't mean to be rude, but frankly, you know, you're not the judge of this. So, and so far, all of you've heard is a couple of things that I've said, and you watched some other idiot's video. You can't go by that. So. And don't give out her name. Yeah, Mike, I'm not giving out anything about her. Nothing about her. So, pronounce you guilty and use you man and wife. Yeah, right? Yeah, that would be funny. Combination lynching and marriage all in the same thing. So, we'll see. Okay. So anyhow, kids, a great day today. Had a lot of fun. Oh, sort of interesting side note that kind of went on. So as I got done with law enforcement and I was walking back over here to the boat late this afternoon, there was a power boat that pulled up and tied right in front of me. And the people got out of the boat and were standing on the dock looking at my boat for quite a while, obviously having some conversation with them amongst themselves while I was walking out the dock. And so I'm thinking, I got a mosquito bite, guys, sorry. I was thinking, what in the hell is, you know, this all about? You know, these guys are watching my boat and having a conversation about it. So I walk over to them and I'm like, okay, I saw you guys talking about my crappy boat. What's going on? And the guy turned around and looked at me and goes, don't you remember us? And I looked at it for a second, and yeah, it was the people that I was on, and you guys probably saw the video, it was the people I was on the water taxi with in Port Washington the last minute, when I did the last minute provisioning before I got on the boat to leave. So they were the people that were on the water taxi with me back in Port Washington. They left the next day after I left Port Washington. And what's the odds that they caught up to me, and here we are tied up side by side at a dock here in Florida. How cool is that? So it really just, it's an interesting community out here in the sailing world. And I just thought it was pretty cool that here I am tied up to this couple that I rode in a water taxi with back in Port Washington, literally the day I was leaving Port Washington. So they got here and they looked at the boat and they go, that boat looks familiar. We know that boat from someplace. And then they realized what it was, and then when they seen me, they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's the guy from Port Washington. So yeah, Clint, Lily's fine. She's here sleeping. There she is. She was having a puppy dream here a minute ago, but she's just sleeping soundly now, so. Working man's truck. Yeah, Sharon Ann, I'm not going into details about that. I'm just not going to go into any more details about that. I'm letting law enforcement take care of it from here on out, so. I don't want to get into he said, she said, and all that kind of nonsense. Suffice it to say, I'm going to the courthouse tomorrow to take care of paperwork. I'll tell you that much, so. I'll also say, when somebody shows up at my boat uninvited, acts aggressively, and makes aggressive comments and talks about how much they'd like to kick my ass, that's what they call, I'm sorry, I gotta look it back up again. She circled it for me here in the book so I would know what the charge is. Aggravated stalking. That's aggravated stalking. And it has to do with cyberbullying, a combination of cyberbullying and cyberstalking, along with aggressive confrontation, like what happened. So it's it's aggravated stalking is the thing, and you know it's very serious. They take this shit serious down here. So he said, "Smack the shit out of you." Well, whatever you want to think you said, that's fine with me. So. So anyhow, we compiled quite a bit of evidence from a number of people that had a lot of input into this, not just me, but a lot of other people, viewers and friends and stuff, and all that's been turned over to law enforcement. Man, hot looking deputy. I want to tell you something, man. This deputy here in Jacksonville, her name was Turner, T-U-R-N-E-R. There's one hot-looking deputy, man. She was a nice-looking girl. Tough. I wouldn't want to challenge her, but very, very pretty woman. So, anyhow. What does that imply? Watching your streams. Put him away for life. Well, you know, I will say this much. He's got a really long record. One of the things, no, she didn't frisk me. That would have been nice, actually. No, she didn't frisk me. Give her your number. All right, Coyote. No, you know, she was pulled up on her computer and she was looking up the records in there, and she wanted to find a photo of him so that I could say, yeah, that was the guy. You know, just because I had a license plate, it could have been he was driving somebody else's truck. So we wanted to make sure we had the right person. So anyhow, she pulled up the information on the license plate, identified him, yes, it was him, but she was going through page after page after page after page after page of stuff on him, and suffice it to say, I'm not the first one to file a restraining order against him. Not by a long shot. So, and some of the other people on the channel here, some of the other viewers watching, I believe right now, who have resources that I don't have access to, were able to provide me with quite a few details of some of the charges that have been levied against him. So this guy's not a model citizen, folks, okay? This guy's not a model citizen. He may come off as a, you know, a big old lovable guy or whatever, and he may think he's funny, but, you know, yeah, I know, Mike, I'm saying too much. You're right. It's hard. It's hard. You know, you want to defend yourself, guys. It's just hard. So, actually, yeah, she's not interested in living on this boat. I wouldn't want to be living on this boat either, given the choice. But yeah, she's very much interested in sailing and is interested in boating. So, please get a private dock by Christmas. It'll be just off Sister Creek at a private dock by Christmas in Marathon, Sharon. Okay, I'm going to be there in probably 2 weeks. Wife looks like an inbred heroin addict. Okay, Alexander, I won't argue that. Captain Caveman, you are probably correct, but you know what? I don't have a criminal background. So, I don't have a criminal background that I have to be ashamed of. I had some debts back up in Alaska, and unlike my ex-wife, I'm the one that went to Alaska and paid them. I made sure everything was paid off. I tied up all the loose ends and paid everything off. So, but no, I don't have a criminal record, so I have nothing to be worried about. My girl would have been dragging me away from that situation. Yeah. Actually, she didn't meet Lily. She only met me out in the parking lot, gave me a ride over to the restaurant. At the restaurant, she dropped me off at the parking lot. She didn't come down to the boat. She was actually pressed for time to get back to her job. She takes care of a couple young children for a family, and the kids were going to come home from school, so she had to be there to get the kids. So. But that job may change for her because the husband's getting remarried or something. We don't know all the details, but we'll see. Scaling back on the live streams. I don't know yet. Talk, but you probably won't care. After it's over, talk, but you probably won't care. Not sure what that's about, Marie. Okay. What's wrong, Captain 10 star in his vid? Yes, they are mocking you, but you sit back and laugh about it. Well, Dutchman, if I have to explain to you what's wrong with them, then I'm sorry. Oh, she'll meet Lily, no problem. She's a dog person, it won't be a problem, guys. Oh, anyhow. Alright, guys, so between the other live stream and this one, I think I covered everything. Good day today. I thought that one dinghy was kind of interesting, a brig. I'd not seen a brig before, so it caught my attention, a brig Falcon 300. And again, there's lots of people being impersonated on a lot of these different channels, so don't watch something on one of these channels and take it for gospel. I mean, that's just a fool's errand. So, go to Patreon only every night. You may have 200 patrons by now. Well, maybe. I think that's like the 8th time he said the same thing. I think he's a troll. Well, that may be, Coyote. Coke or Pepsi for her. Water with lemon, actually. Water with lemon. So, anyhow, kids, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Going to have an interesting day at the courthouse tomorrow, unfortunately. I really hate doing stuff like that, but unfortunately, so... And we'll see where things go from there. So, can you show the dog? I just showed the dog. She's right here. There's the dog, Lily. See, she's even alive. She's not a dead dog. She's a real dog. She's alive. There she is. Oh, you come over and hugging me, huh? You coming over and giving me a hug? Oh, she's a good girl. Put you guys down. She's a good dog. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're a good dog. Huh? You a good dog? You see all the people out here in YouTube land? They all want to say, whoop. Everybody wants to say hello to you. Can you say hello to the dog here? Look, look, look. Who's that? Who's that? Who's right there? Hey, here. Who's that right there? Is that Lily? Now she's going to get all excited. She thinks someone's here. All right. Anyhow, kids, I just built my pop on myself. All right. Carl. Okay. Am I going to cross the Pacific one day? Probably. Continue until you don't give them any attention. Well, that's true, Alexander. That's true. I did make it to Florida, didn't I? You did not bring this on yourself. No, pilot, I definitely did not. You know, and before I end, I'm just going to address that real quick. You know, the whole thing about these trolls, you know, they're all up in arms about stuff. So what have I done? What am I guilty of? I'm guilty of buying a cheap sailboat, and I guess the main complaint seems to be I eBay. They're upset that I ask people to donate to help me out financially while I'm on my way. It is what it is. That's what I'm guilty of. Does that constitute, is that so bad that people would want to kick my butt because of it? Is that so bad that people hide in the bushes and videotape me from a distance? Is that so bad to subject me to all the ridicule and stuff that these people do? I'm sorry. You know, I'm not the one being a butthead to somebody else, you know. Just like I told that troll idiot today, you know, I don't show up at his house and harass him. I don't go to his place of work. I don't go up and get in his face. That's troll behavior. That's childish 12th grade kind of stuff. So, exactly, Alexander. If you don't like what I'm doing, all you have to do is turn the channel and watch something else. You know, to show you how crazy these people are. If they dislike me, but they still watch every day. I'm sorry, guys. If I have a pebble in my shoe, I take the pebble out. I don't store the pebble in my shoe and keep stepping on it so I can go ooh, ooh, ooh all the time. I got more important things to do. So, it says you are condescending and rude. Well, I am. You know, that's fine. I may be condescending and rude. You know what? I'm an old curmudgeon. I don't suffer fools well. When people say foolish stuff, but so what? Okay? So I'm condescending and I'm rude. Does that make it legitimate? Does that make it okay for someone to threaten me with physical violence? Is that where our society has gone to? I'm sorry. And so, you know, if you're a fan of one of these troll channels and you're on there rooting on these kind of idiots, man, you're just not a very nice person. You're just not a very nice person. So I don't want I don't want those people who are not very nice people in my life. So I block them and I delete them, and that makes me rude. Well, I'm sorry, you know, life is too short to have idiots like that around me. So if you look around you, you'll find you can report the troll videos that you are referring to, report them to YouTube. Yeah, Mike, I will. I've been motoring and sailing down the ICW right now, so I'm not worrying too much about it. Once I get down to Marathon and I have time, then yeah, I'm going to go through and I'll have most of those videos taken down by YouTube. A lot of them constitute violations of YouTube policies, so a lot of them will come out. So I don't know, we'll see. Let the bad energy out and keep sailing away. Jason, thank you. That's exactly what I'm doing. You think condescending and rude fits with YouTube entertainer? Well, apparently, Jamish. Right? Apparently. So, anyhow, kids. All the Santa patron and do the same. You're an easy target because you're live. Well, that's true, Nelson. Yes, that is very true. So, yeah, because the other channels, when they don't go live, these idiots make comments and they just delete the comments and are done with it. So, you or other viewers can report them. Yes, Mike, anybody can report those kind of comments in those videos. But only I can claim a copyright infringement. Only I can claim copyright infringement. Whenever they show anything that's off of one of my videos, that's copyright infringement. Immediately I can get those taken down. They're a piece of cake. The other stuff, well, it's a little bit more difficult, but we're working on that. Doing live every day. That's true, Pilot. I am the only one doing live every day. And I'm also the only one that is responsive to everybody. I don't answer every comment on here, but I try to respond to most of them. And that kind of access and exposure is something you don't have on any other channel. So, don't the trolls any attention drive for that. Yep. All right, guys. With that said, good night, everybody. Be good, be careful, take good care of one another. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to e-bag here. Be sure to check in the description for my PayPal and Patreon should you want to contribute to the adventure. All funds are greatly appreciated and much needed at the moment. So, Actually, I have a lot of big expenses coming up. I really do. I've got to pick up a vehicle when I get down to Marathon. I got marketing expenses. I have a lot of things going on that I'm going to need some funds for. And if you guys can help out, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, and one last thing that I wanted to announce tonight, that talking about my links down below brought up to me for the very first time. I'm making a huge, major change in my policy on my channel tonight. So there's 129 people watching, so hopefully everybody will get this straight right from the get-go. But effective tonight, going forward until I don't know when, I don't have an end date for this yet. But going forward as of tonight, anybody that donates to my PayPal, not Patreon, mind you, anybody that donates directly to my PayPal will be considered a loan and not a donation. Anybody that donates to my PayPal from tonight going forward until I announce otherwise, I will look upon those funds as a loan and not a donation. You can expect to receive those funds back sometime within the year. I would ask you to then take those funds and use them to help out the next person coming along on YouTube, wherever. But it's your money. You can decide whatever you want to do. But any funds donated from tonight forward will be considered a loan to me. I'll be paying interest on that money, and I will return those funds to you within 12 months. Trying to make it a bit more attractive for people to donate to me for right now, because I need some funds right now, and I'm not afraid. I'm confident in my earnings ability to be able to pay those funds back. Now, whether or not you think I'm a good credit risk, really does that even matter? You were going to donate the money anyway. The fact I'm going to pay it back to you is just an added bonus. So, yes, PayPal donations only, not Patreon, just those people on PayPal. Patreon's a whole different ballgame. So, I lose too much of a percentage on PayPal, or on Patreon rather, to be able to refund that. So, but on PayPal, any donations made through PayPal, effective tonight going forward, will be considered a loan and not a donation, and will be refunded within 12 months. So, that said, good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.